Alright, when it comes to video games, there's a lot of mods. There's mods for video games where you could enhance the game, or it could fix the AI, or it could just make the whole experience a lot more fun. To get personal with you, I could give you some quick examples. A couple of mods I could say is like Gary's mod. Originally, when I was a little kid, or when I was younger, I always liked playing with the Doctor Who mod. Mainly, to use the TARDIS, almost like a role play, but it wasn't a role play. It was just me oohing and awing at the TARDIS interiors and whatnot. But one I could give you a better example is when I used to play Minecraft, and the only reason I would play it is mainly for the Doctor Who mod. And if I didn't do that, I would just play like the old Minecraft versions where Steve goes, ooh! But I'm not playing it today because the game's like $30 now. Inflation. What are you doing? I think the game was like 25 back then. Why are we doing this? Anyways, forget Minecraft. That's just whatever. We're talking about the greatest mod in video game history, which could be considered one of the greatest games in history. Mainly when I'm talking about the mod, but it's a part of one of the greatest games in history. That game is Postal 2. Postal 2 is one of the greatest video games in history. It's just facts. It's up there with Hello Neighbor, all versions, Granny, all sequels, and the first game. What else? Uh, Five Nights at Ducky's, I guess. You can't go wrong with Five Nights at Ducky's, unless you're trying to have a heart attack. Don't play that game. It's very scary. But Postal 2's got the greatest mod ever, mainly called Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Workers. Now, here's a little context. Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Workers was a Russian-made developed game by Russians. I'm going to shout out the YouTuber Kesha, who demonstrated the game. And yeah, the game was made by Russians. And I don't know, all I know is that in Postal 3... It was developed by a Russian studio. I don't know if it was Trash Masters or somebody else. But all I know is that Postal 3 was a disaster because the game didn't really play well. And the original developers of Postal Running with Scissors did not like the game. They genuinely hate the game. So they decided to make a Postal 4, and it was sort of a riff. They do a secret little stab jabs on Postal 3. And I mean, the game's not bad. It's just, from what it looks and from what I've heard about the game, Postal 4 seems to be just a more fixed, quote unquote, fixed version of Postal 3 with a newer Unreal Engine. And I mean, it has its charm, but it definitely won't capture the lightning in a bottle known as Postal 2. And then later on, they made Postal Brain Damage, which is pretty good. I might actually buy that game on Steam later instead of refunding it like Half-Life 2. But anyways, Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Workers was more of a jab on Postal 4, where there's even there's a cool YouTube channel I'll also link called Ducking with Dealers that does a little funny promotion of Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Workers mod. And so, yeah, it's like the most interesting Postal game out there because you don't see this type of commitment, unlike the other Postal horror games, which, I mean, there are commitments to the other Postal modded games where there's trailers and videos made on it and all the mods, but specifically Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Worker is the best mod, not only in Postal 2, but in video games history and for the rest of existence, period. So let's talk about it, because it's already been like 4 minutes, which I felt like it's already been like 1. So Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Worker. Now, take this part with a grain of salt, because I don't know Russian, and I haven't checked the subtitles over at the video where I think one of the main people behind the game has played it. Kesha, that's a shout out. It'll be down and linked below. But the game is about, you're playing a main character who's a guest worker. Orange overalls, white long sleeve shirt, a black little what's it called? One of those caps, a hoodie, a little beanie, and then you're wearing like some type of Adidas track gloves or some type of soccer gloves. But the important part is that you're working for your friend Tony, and you're collecting some stuff. You're collecting milk, and you're collecting an assault rifle. And in this game, you explore the mini town you're in, and it's a pretty funny town. You know, it's like there's people dancing in a fire, playing Russian music while they're dancing to burning copies of Postal 4, I think, or Postal 3. I think it was Postal 4 though, because that's what the game was jabbing at. I got no comments there. It is what it is. And you could break that music box and you'll have to attack him. It's pretty crazy. Another fun little interesting tidbit is that there's two characters over behind a garbage garbage alley where they just fight, and they're like text to speeches in robot voices. It's pretty funny. And you get unlimited achievements. Like even if you quit the game and play it again, or you've already beaten the game, you'll get the same amount of achievements that the game gives you. So it's pretty honorable and pretty nice. So after you get the milk and the assault rifle from the weird factory and from the weird hotel, I'm guessing, the resorts, you could also check out Tom and Jerry. It's pretty funny too. I like Tom and Jerry, you know, it's got funny little cartoons. Just don't pee on Tom and Jerry or you'll regret it. You'll call Tony on a phone. You'll tell him you got the stuff. He's like, meet me at the sewers. This is what you got to do. You meet him at the sewers by going into a specific place where it has a giant tub. But in order to open the tub, you either got to pee in the tub for a little while, or you pee in the toilet and then you pee in the tub, and then you pee on the tub and pee in the toilet, and then it opens. I don't know how that works. I'm just going off of how I played the game. It was a bit confusing. But once you go down to the sewers, you will see Tony, and then you'll meet up, and it's like, all right, come in, you're inside the boat. Let me go take you to the house. Then you go to the house. The boat does a really cool flip. It's pretty cool, you know. It does a little flip, got a little guitar riff. Then you see a picture resembling your friendship. You see you and Tony. You look a bit different because you got no beanie and you're wearing a red shirt instead of a work attire. Then you exchange something. I don't know what it is, but you exchange something as a reward. And then after that, heartbreak ensues. You and your friend have a downfall, an outfalling, and you don't become friends anymore. And then you have to fight to the death. It's pretty heartbreaking. As a story, you know, it's very deep as a modded, you know, game story. So then you fight your best friend, and this part is a bit tedious, like if you play it normally, because the rockets are just annoying and Tony just spams them. So it sort of just makes me feel like I want to defeat Tony instead of be heartbroken by having to take him down because the rockets are just annoyingly in my way and getting me killed. But once you defeat Tony, everything is over. The war is over. It's silent in Russia, but it's good because it's now peace and quiet, and then the game ends. And all I gotta say to that is beautiful. It's a beautiful game. No other modded game could compete. The graphics, off the charts. The story, off the charts. The acting, off the charts. The gameplay, off the charts. Everything about this game is perfect. Like, it's really up there with Five Nights at Ducky's. Like, this is Five Nights at Ducky's and Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Worker are both like fan-made games that they use basing off of their original materials, but they surpass them in every single way. And like, there's no way I could be like saying this is terrible, because it's just perfect. So to conclude this video, Postal 4 Revenge of the Guest Worker is worth all the time you have, all the free time. It's a short game, which some people don't like because they like long games with long narratives and long gameplays and blah blah blah. Those people, don't worry about those people. Those people are weird. Here's got a nice, perfect game you can beat under 15 minutes if you're cracked at it and really good, and you will be once you play this game over and over again due to how much you enjoy it like I do. And all I gotta say, it's a perfect game. Perfect way for me to start up a stream most likely. And hey, all I gotta say is go check it out. It's perfect. And I gotta end off the video with the best voice line in the game.